are subscribed to the Avi Unfiltered podcast and that you share this episode with every single person that you love and adore, or even random strangers. Be like, oh, I just listened to a dope podcast. Someone just in Apple. I was in Apple. I was at the Apple store and my podcast came on when I was in the Apple store. And the person helping me was like, that's dope. So listen to that. You can share that with someone. Say, I listened to a dope holistic health and wellness podcast and I want to share it with you. Okay. Make sure you leave a 5-star review of the podcast. Let me know how you're loving it. What more you want to see on the podcast. If you want to be a guest on the podcast. I don't often have too many guests, but if you know that you have a platform, you also help people and you want to come on, feel free. Definitely be genuine though, because I have turned many people away. Many people, even some renowned people, because they weren't genuine. So I only allow renowned, genuine people, or people, even if you're not renowned, you don't have a lot of followers, but you're just making a great impact. Or if you're my wonderful, beautiful clients, y'all know you're always welcome on the podcast, okay? So people with genuine, authentic hearts that are really making moves in the world, want to help people, or want to start making moves, want to put themselves out there, you're certainly welcome on the show. Just be genuine, make sure it helps other people besides just you, okay? Also, my TV show, I have a brand new episode up on the Bravehearts TV network, Heal It All. Heal It All, the Bravehearts TV network, is a platform offering inspiring, educational, and empowering TV shows available on Roku or Amazon Fire TV. To watch it on your TV, select Roku or Amazon Fire Stick as your input source. Open the settings menu and select your channel or app store. Search for and download the Bravehearts TV network channel. And please note that you as a viewer need to be on your TV set first. Open either the Roku or Amazon Fire TV app and then search Bravehearts TV network. As an alternative, you can always download it online too and watch online. There are episodes every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Central. For any of my supplements and programs, definitely head to my website. Dr. Morse's supplements, his herbs and tinctures are amazing. Dr. Furman's supplements, vitamins, and minerals are awesome. Definitely go peruse the site and look for your favorite item on there, and they will ship it directly to you, and you will see yourself become better, improve your quality of life, have long life, and it's great. Also, my luxury vegan leather handbags, which I was talking about last episode, I had to pay outright. I don't regret it. I love that bag. It comes with me everywhere I go. I switch bags. I have like 4 bags now. Anyone who's known me since high school, I've always had a big ass bag. My friend Leah, who is no longer here, I love you, girl. Mwah. She was a sweetheart. She passed away years ago. She's very near and dear to my heart. I love you so much, Leah. She introduced me to big bags. So she started wearing big bags. I remember I had this Dolce & Gabbana bag. I was in high school. Y'all know, you go to New York, you get a Dolce & Gabbana. No one knew it was fake, but it was at the time when I was in high school. And then as I got older, I got real Coach, real Betsy Johnson, real bags and all that stuff. I was very heavily into name brands. Always had name brand fragrance. Miss Dior Cherie, Badgley Mishka was my favorite. I always had Ralph Lauren Blue. I always had JLo Glow. I always had the name brand everything, Rockaware. Always had Timberlands. Always had all that shit. But anyway, she introduced me to big bags. And ever since then, I had a big bag. And the big bag wasn't name brand. She was very artsy. She was amazingly talented. Very artsy, very peaceful. Just loved her. And so she's no longer here, but she's the reason why I carry around big bags. So thank you, Leah. Much love to you, hon. I always loved that girl. Very close to her. Was very close to her in high school. Okay. So you can get you that. If you cannot pay it outright, there is no shame in that at all. No shame in that at all. They have payment plans for you, okay? I never look down on people. I don't like people that do that. Oh, you can't pay it outright. Unless you piss me off, then I'm gonna say some shit like that. But I don't look down on people say, oh, you can't pay it outright. You're beneath me. Ha 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 ha. Because people used to do that to me. I'm like, fuck you. You know what I mean? So that dives right into the episode. Unlocking core memories. Let's take a moment. Inhale. Exhale the bullshit. Okay? Like that whisper song. Remember that song? All right, unlocking core memories. So core memories, when you think of core memories, these are memories that have been with you since the beginning of time, and they don't leave you. And there's a lot of people walking around with core memories who look like they're sane but feel like they're going crazy internally. If I could compare it to something, I would compare it to taking hormone replacement drugs like norepinephrine or Depo-Lupron or something like that, and the side effect is depression or suicide or something. Because you'll be in a happy state, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes this black cloud. You're not having fun anymore. You're just eating an ice cream cone. Now the ice cream cone is dripping and falling on the floor because you're too focused on how horrible someone was to you, whether you were sexually abused or you were raped, or your mom and dad didn't get along. You grew up with a narcissistic father. You grew up with a narcissistic family. You grew up with, people didn't choose you for something. Someone stole your bike when you were little. I'll never forget. I went to Eat the Sunlight, and he jokingly said this, but it's so fucking true. It was like a hippie place. Y'all know I'm always a hippie. Not the free love part of it, but y'all know, just free spirited. But the guy was talking about how, he was going through a detox, a juice detox, and how this was back in 2013, and how all of a sudden he had a core memory pop up as to how someone stole his bike when he was 8 years old. He started bawling. And I did not think that was crazy, because when you're healing, everything is coming up to the surface. Everything is coming up from your subconscious. You're just sitting there like, I thought I buried that in the sand. So I'm going to show you how to get rid of that for good. And it takes work. It takes action. Faith without works is dead. What happened to us was not fair in life. What happened to you was not fair in life. But take your power back by doing something good for you. If someone was bad to you, do something good for yourself. You deserve it. And that's what I think people need to realize, is that you do deserve good in this world. Don't look at it as, that's not fair. Why do I have to do all this healing? Look at it in a different perspective. Like, I get the opportunity to take care of myself, rewire, some things, and progress in life. Because some people have gone through horrific things, myself included. And it's just like, you're still standing. Kudos to you, and give yourself a pat on the back and clap for yourself every single time you wake up, So yeah, those core memories that just pop up out of nowhere, or you just remember when, I don't know, you were in middle school and people used to pick on you, or you were in high school and people used to pick on you, or that teacher didn't like you, that job hated you, why did they hate me? So you're taking everything personally. You got to realize that it has nothing to do with you. And I know people are like, well, I was just minding my own business. Why didn't these people just leave me alone? I was minding my own business. Same for relationships. You're like, I was minding my business until this motherfucker came along and then just messed everything up. Now I have to do all this healing. You have to take a look at it, especially when it comes to relationships. You got to take a look at yourself. And say, people come to teach us lessons. Now, if you dealt with rape or sexual assault or something, I'm not talking about that. That person did not come to teach you a lesson. And I wish people would stop saying that bullshit. Like, yeah, they came to teach you a lesson, and making light of it, because that's not true. Some bad things happen. And there's no reason for it to happen. It didn't make you strong because you struggled. A lot of people say trauma makes you strong. And it's like, some people it doesn't make strong. Some people unalive themselves. Some people can't handle it. So trauma is not here to make you strong. Trauma comes to show you how to heal. But you don't need people to show you how to heal, because you shouldn't be having to constantly heal from something bad to begin with. So let's take that out, because a lot of people say that, trauma makes you strong. You have to choose to be strong. It doesn't make you strong. You have to choose to find your strength in that situation, and some people can't find it. And you know what? That's okay. I don't think you should unalive yourself, but some people don't have a way out, which is why I'm doing this episode. Because it's going to take you taking proactive steps to rewiring your brain. And it's a healing process, it's a healing journey, Getting rid of traumatic experiences is not easy, but it is doable. It's going to take, like I said, you rewiring your brain. And the way you're going to do that is by taking the time out, writing down what your traumatic experiences were, writing down how they affected you, and not shying away from them, because it's not going to help you. A lot of men who were sexually assaulted, they can't handle it. A lot of women can't handle it, but I've seen it in men. They're like ashamed because they feel like it demasculates them or emasculates them or whatever. It doesn't. There was nothing you could do. You know what I mean? And so some people, you'll see them start drinking or start doing drugs or start overdosing even. Or they'll act super hard, and they'll also have addictions. And that's because they're trying to numb the pain of how someone felt. Because when something like that happens to you, women too, but when something like that happens to you, you feel powerless. You feel like something was stolen from you. You feel like something was taken from you. You feel like you could have something to prove now because something was stolen and taken from you. And then you're ultra aggressive because, you function in society and no one knows that you dealt with that. And so their ignorant ass selves come into your life and also try to take from you. And then people wonder why you have such a 0 to 1 million response because of what happened to you. You like your peace. And so you didn't want your body violated. You didn't give permission to that. And so now the only thing that you do have control of is, this is why you see a lot of people with eating disorders that have gone through traumatic experiences, because that's the only thing they can control. They can control their food intake. Or maybe that's why you see a lot of people, they have, narcissism too, because they try to control other people and they want to hurt other people because they don't know how to emotionally regulate. And so there's a lot of things that go on, and I could just go on for days and years and all of this stuff, because this is what I do for a living. And I enjoy what I do because I've helped so many people globally. And I just thank God for that, because that's always what I wanted to do. I'm doing it. From my experiences, there's a lot of people who are psychologists, psychiatrists, and therapists, and, that's all well and good if you're doing it holistically, and if you're allowing your clients to have a transformative experience without the medication and the big pharma support. But people navigate to people who have had experience in this as well. Because you can go to school, people go to school to learn about me who has gone through it firsthand. So why not go to the person who just knows about it? Like I said, it's okay to go to those people. When I was little, I had to go to a psychiatrist because I was sexually assaulted and sexually abused every other week from ages 2.5 to 3 years old. I had to see a psychiatrist. That was probably the beginning of me trusting men again, because my psychiatrist was a man. But my mom was there with me, and he was very gentle and acted like a man, was just concerned about me and was like, what are you going to do about this? Like, wanted to see the person who did that to me go to prison, because I also dealt with sodomy as well. It was a horrific experience, but I healed from it. As you can see, I'm talking about it. No tears are coming out. I don't feel like someone's in control of my body because I took my power back, And that's what I tell my clients a lot is that you have to take your power back, take the control back. But back to, the psychiatrists and therapists. So some people, they'll go to psychiatrists and therapists who they haven't experienced this firsthand. They went to school to learn about you. I'm the person they went to school to learn about because I've gone through pretty much everything you can name. There's only like a finger count that I have not gone through. And I don't want to know about the finger count. But anyway, it's been a lot more than probably the majority of the population. But when like I've said before, when other people have gone through other things, I listen to their stories. I don't interject and say, oh, me too. I went through that too, because it's not about you. And that's also showing that you have an unhealed wound when someone's talking to you about what they've gone through and you just have to tell what you went through. It's like, let them get their story out. If they want to ask you, then you could share. I just always thought that was tacky. A lot of people didn't know this even happened to me. I remember a girl in high school did that. She was like, you don't know what it feels like. Because her dad had sexually abused her. And she was like, you don't know what it feels like? I don't know how it feels like for a dad to do that. My dad was not the man to do that. Was he the best father? No, but he was not abusive. And my father was weird because it was like he was in and out. But if you disrespected me, my father is in the military all day, every day. He would not let you disrespect his daughter. He would not. Even though he was an absentee father, he was not letting you disrespect me at all. And he also had nothing to do with the person who sexually assaulted me, which was his stepfather. He cut him off afterwards. So that was the least he could do. Should have cut his mother off too, because she condoned that. But anyway, so the girl didn't think that I went through it because I never shared it with her. And when she said it, I just looked at her smiling. I was like, yep, I have no clue. Because at this time, you can't talk to a fool. She was sitting there irate and angry and all this stuff. And I was just like, I'm not going to share my story because it's going to be for naught. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, something similar happened. Sometimes you got to let people think that you ain't go through shit. And let that be a testimony that you got through shit, because you don't look like what you've been through. You know what I mean? You don't. You have to rewire, and that's what I want you to see. You have to rewire that. So a way for you to do that is to build a new neural pathway. Okay? And this is why I wanted to talk about, neuroplasticity, which is ability to reorganize situations that you went through so you could change the neuroplasticity of your brain. The brain on trauma looks very different from the brain that has dealt with a jolly good old time. Mommy and daddy always had money. You fell out the sky drinking a fucking green juice. You ate properly. You went through a good school. You were the girls. Everyone just loved you. Never had anything happen, compared to someone who has dealt with trauma. It's very different. And this is why it's important to have people around you that understand that. Some people don't understand how people constantly think negative and have to protect themselves by thinking of negative scenarios. They have to think of all the possibilities as to what's going to happen so they can protect themselves. And I'll give you an example. For instance, let's say someone had attacked you or kidnapped you or something. Let's just pull that out of thin air. And you're going out again. After, let's say it's been 6 months since you went out because you were attacked. Now you're going out again. So before you go out, let's say you're hopping in an Uber, okay? You're like, okay, I'm going in an Uber, where someone else might just get in an Uber. Let's say the Uber driver kidnapped you before. Someone else got in an Uber and they're just like, hey, how you doing? Because nothing happened to them, but something happened to you, right? You're probably going to bring your pepper spray, probably a pocket knife, maybe a razor, maybe some concoction that you made that could burn the fuck out of the person. You're thinking of all the scenarios that could possibly happen. You're thinking of an escape plan. Okay? You're thinking of, okay, what if they lock the door? How am I going to get out of here? Okay, I'm going to have to kick the window. What if he has a lock thing on his fucking window? What else? What can get through glass? Like, your brain is not working like someone else's would if they hadn't gone through this predicament. And so other people may look at you like, okay, Superwoman, like, okay, blank man, okay, superhero, like, why are you thinking of this like a mastermind? You're thinking of all the possibilities of what could go wrong. You're not thinking of, oh, when I get in this Uber, you know, it's going to be a fun day. They're going to take me exactly where I want to go. That comes after. So this is someone's brain on trauma. They're thinking of how things can go wrong when a bunch of things have gone wrong in their life. And so in order to protect themselves, I'll say that again. Someone's brain on trauma is thinking of all the negative scenarios and things that could go wrong because things have gone wrong in their life. It reminds me of Bob on Martin. Things have gone wrong, Gina. Things have gone wrong, okay? So they're sitting there thinking about all of the scenarios. And other people look at that person and they dismiss them and they say that person's so negative. But that person is in survival mode and this is how they cope with certain problems, okay? And so it's crucial that you get people, if you do have a friend like this, you get people to see that they are negative, show them that there's another route. And obviously you don't have to deal with someone as long as you, but just recognize, try to empathize with people who have gone through that. Some people need a different approach. More like a Cancerian approach versus a Capricorn approach. A Capricorn is going to be like, okay, we'll just get the shit done. You got to have both approaches with people. And that's why people work with me, because although I'm a Cancer sun, I have a Capricorn stellium. So and Aquarius placements. So I tap into both. I can empathize with them, but then I'm like, all right, but you can't stay in that because it's going to make you go crazy. You're going to fall into a deep depression from experience. You gotta keep it moving. It's like when you're healing, going through the healing process, you have to take time for yourself. Sometimes things will come up. Take a day off. If you don't take a day off, take like 4 hours to yourself or 2 hours to yourself. Meditate, journal, get it out, recognize, center yourself, say, I'm not at that place. I'm here, I'm present, no one's gonna harm me, I'm safe, I'm protected, okay? Say these things to yourself. All right, so that's one of the ways to get rid of traumatic memories. Get to the root of it, and then as you're building a new neural pathway, creating a different neuroplasticity within the brain, reorganizing situations differently, it's going to take your rewiring to improve the neuroplasticity on your brain, okay? And the way you're gonna do that is by creating positive experiences. How did you want your life to go? What makes you feel good? What do you want your life to look like? How would you have been without the trauma? And then you're going to start embodying pieces of that every single day. So if you wish you were a more jovial person, you're going to find something that makes you more jovial throughout the day, okay? Do something that you love. What makes you feel balanced? Because when you've gone through something traumatic, no matter what it is, even if it's grieving someone passed away, you have to realign those chakras. Listen to, please, if you're going through a grieving phase and you don't know how to handle it, take a moment, take a break, listen to some meditation music. Even working out helps. I've done that too. Doing isometric exercises. I always said that planks were a form of meditation. I did them on the full moon. It was a very therapeutic, relaxing experience because you are moving your lymphatic system. You're getting rid of that toxic waste. You're getting rid of that subconscious. Like, thank God for sweat, okay? As well as thank God for the ability to rewire your brain to think positive thoughts. You know, like I said on last week's episode, I believe your subconscious doesn't know the difference between the two. So speak positive to your brain. Acknowledge what happened to you. Know it wasn't fair what happened to you. It didn't feel good. Take your power back. Take your body back. I remember when I was taking my power back, and sometimes it's like a surge of energy, and it becomes a little imbalanced when you're healing yourself. And so that's completely normal. Because I remember when I was taking my power back, and I also had left the church. And so me being, like I said, sexually abused and sexually assaulted, I wanted to cover up my body. More so, and being in the church, you were covered up. But when I left, I just wanted to embrace my body again. I was proud of it, and so I was showing it, but I was showing it a little bit too much online. And instead of people recognizing that I was feeling empowered, it went the wrong direction. I don't know if it started rumors or people looked at me differently. I think people who didn't judge me, but it was no big deal. But anyway, I have a balance of it now. You know, I know how to pop out, maybe show some cleavage, maybe show my full body, but not go overboard. You know what I mean? And show everything. You know, there's some stuff that I leave up to the imagination, but you could see that I have curves. I am confident with my body, which I wasn't years and years ago. It's been a while since that. But you will see that you'll start to, when you're integrating, I used to have a friend of mine who used to talk about integration. When you're integrating parts of yourself, this newfound sense of self, you're gonna feel a little imbalanced, okay? So then what you wanna do with that is you wanna take time to meditate, go back to the playing board, or whatever you call it, the drawing board, there we go, the drawing board, and say, okay, this needs to be a little more balanced, you know? Just like the same thing when you're working, you know, you don't want to do too much of that. You know, you do want to take time to kind of step away from that. I mean, obviously working is fun if you're doing what you love, so it's hard to step away from it, but maybe your spirit wants you to do something else. So stuff like that, it's just a little out of balance, and it'll rebalance you, okay? So how to forget negative people. Again, you want to refocus your attention. You want to recognize that it had nothing to do with you. A lot of times people can't forget core memories because they really take what people did to heart. Just like, for instance, I'll never forget, I was in church and I was singing, and I used to sing very, very loudly. My mom always helped boost my confidence. She was always my number one supporter, and she still is. She supports everything that I do. And I remember I was singing, and one of my relatives were in the audience, and someone else, and they were like smirking and like laughing. They were like, oh, it's so loud. And I took that to heart. I was a very sensitive child. I took that to heart, and in my mind, I was like, oh, they think I can't sing and all this stuff. People didn't really receive me as a singer when I was in church. Y'all already know I was always overlooked for things, but that did not stop me. I always had that vigor to go after what I want. It was always that inner voice and that inner person in me that said, you're not gonna let anybody stop you. And that's the strength that I pulled from that horrific situation that happened to me when I was younger. I said, no one is ever gonna be in control of you ever the fuck again. And you're not gonna let somebody box you the fuck in. And so, and I'm adamant about that till this motherfucking day. So when I felt like someone was trying to discourage me from something, I said, oh, hell no. So I went on to sing in the play Evita. I went on to be one of the top vocalists in my middle school. And I went to high school, and then I went to college, and people loved my voice. And I sing all the time, you know? And so I didn't let that stop me. People used to talk about me with violin, you know. People supported me in church, but then you had a little bit of the naysayers. I went on to become a violinist, also a top violinist at my school. Even my enemies who were violinists couldn't say that I couldn't play because I worked my fucking ass off. And so I always shut people up and I kept it moving. Always. And so the way you're gonna forget about people is to keep it fucking moving. Their words hold no weight. If they're trying to trigger you, embrace that trigger, eat that up, and then throw it back. See if they can handle it. Return the sender on their ass. See if they can handle the shit that they push out with you. Do not let anything someone does penetrate you. Do not let someone energetically rape you, is what I'm trying to say. Because people will. Do not let someone do invasive, energetic surgery on your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual states, ever. Don't let people do that. Because you're giving your power away. Why are you, if someone's being negative and toxic with you, they hate themselves. They probably had a granny or a mom or a dad or an uncle or a sister or someone in school who said, hey, little bitch, you're not good enough. And now they're an adult and they're projecting it onto you, but you don't have to receive that. You could leave their life. Let them be a disgusting individual, a disgusting imbecile themselves, and that's it. People who pick at you because they have an issue with you and they pick and they pick and they pick and they pick and they pick, they don't like themselves. And I know people have said that they don't like themselves. They're miserable. They don't know how to ground. They don't know how to feel whole within themselves, so they pick. They're picky because they don't feel whole within themselves. I came across someone who had very low self-esteem. Someone who used to do my hair, very, very low self-esteem, but she was very picky with other people and herself even. I had a couple of hairdressers who were like that. This was in the past. This is not now. This was in the past. For anyone watching, no, it's not recent. It was in the past. I would let people know to their face. I have let every single person know to their face. I'm just like that. But in the past, who were just picky. And it's because they didn't like themselves. They were insecure. And they would say that they were insecure. And so I was like, that's why you're picky. So people who do not feel whole within themselves are picky with other people. Now, granted, I'm not saying just because you have low self-esteem, you shouldn't have an opinion. But someone who's just constantly nagging, just picking people apart, trying to critique and fix them to be the best version of themselves, and just picking in a negative way that's not conducive, is someone who hates themselves. I'm never going to pick at someone because I just feel like doing that. That's crazy. That's insanity. And maybe these people have a diagnosis. You just never know. But I'm going to help people, which is why clients come to me, because they realize that, oh, she's whole within herself. She just wants me to get better, versus, oh, I think you should. Unsolicited advice. So solicited advice is amazing, because that person gave you permission to come into their portal, into their arena, into their auric fields, into their energetic fields. But when it's unsolicited, it's like, okay, motherfucker, you're betraying me. And some people, again, they don't think like you. People take betrayal to the 1000th power. Trust me, I've been there. When someone did you read my interview in Voyage magazine, Utah? Oh, I was that child. I've been that way since a child. Oh, I don't take kindly to that. I moved in complete silence. That girl, and I felt bad years later, but not at the time. That girl, she did something. Till this day, I don't remember. And she got hit with a hockey stick. That's why I was in anger management at 11. That's why I have so many programs, because that anger, you got to transmute that anger and rage into something productive, or someone's going to get hurt. And from experience, they have. See, I could talk about it because I've been about it since I was little. Another dude, when I was in middle school now, he comes bothering me. Did I invite him to bother me? No, he's bothering me. I took my pencil, I stabbed him. Felt nothing, went right back to work. He said, ow. I said, yep, and I went back to work. Years later, he fell in love with me. He remembered in high school he had a crush on me. Guys like crazy bitches. I'm not saying I was crazy, but I did that. That was me. Like, about that. Some people have to prove, some people, I see it's so comical to me when people share their story to like play the tough role, and I'm like, motherfucker, you wouldn't know tough if it hit you in the face. But you've been that, like you've been that from a child. Like, that's been you. And you're just sitting there like, no, you're not. Shut up. To people, it's just weird to me that people try to play tough when they're not. It's weird. So some people don't think like that. So it's best to not give unsolicited advice and constantly like that sneak dissing, that subliminal shit. Some people just gonna move on in silence with your ass, period. I'm not saying now, but I'm saying then, oh God, Another time I remember, like I said on this episode, I remember I was with my aunt. Now my aunt was tough, was very tough. No one messed with my aunt. She's no longer here. I love you, Auntie Zebra, my favorite. She was a Scorpio. Who was it? It was like 5 guys were trying to steal her bag. Oh, they left her alone. They left her alone. She was known for fighting. But I'll never forget, she took me to that swimming pool, and I was like, you're shocked out of all people. Took her to that swimming pool. This girl did something to me. We're underwater. I whooped her ass underwater, and I blacked out. I said, how was I able to breathe? Till this day, I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, there goes some core memories, but it's not a bad one. I was like, how was I able to breathe? We got out of the water. My aunt said, because the girl's skin was ripped off. And she told me to apologize, and I was looking at her like, why? See, some people, like I said, appreciate when people have a kind side, because that other side is like, lights out. Why? It's like, oh, you could go from, I'm so sorry, because you care about the person, but when the person fucks you over, why? I don't have to say shit. I don't have to apologize for shit. That's how I was. That's why I respect people, because I like my respect, and some people, they have these issues where they feel like they have to prove something. Don't try to prove something to people who have nothing to prove and just have been that. Stop poking the bear, like they say. Stop poking and prodding to see how far you could take it, because that's a weak move. You either take it far or you just shut up and just let that person be and respect them, and you'll receive respect from that person. Period. And that's what people fail to realize. This is why people are so toxic, because they don't respect people. Some people don't think that they need to respect people, because it's just not wired right. There's that neuroplasticity, that's their brain on mental health problem. That is not a good one. Because everyone has some sort of mental health issue, but it's how you treat other people. It's how you project that out into the world that either makes you a good person or a person who, needs a bit of help. Okay? And so, what was I going to talk about? Oh, being around toxic people can definitely throw off your HPA axis, which is your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal. Your hormones are involved, your central nervous system, your neuroendocrine system is involved, everything, okay? So the activation of that axis causes secretion of glucocorticoids. I love that name. Oh God, here we go. Magic school bus again. Glucocorticoids, which act on multiple organ systems, right? So I'm gonna break it down for you in simpler terms what that means for you. So it's affecting all your organ systems. So to redirect energy resources to meet real or anticipated demand. So imagine being, here goes the simpler terms. Imagine being around a bunch of toxic people, right? You may not be self-aware, but your body is. Your body's like, these people, you get away from them, get away from them, get away from them, get away from them. That's why intuition is crucial and eating right is crucial. And so you're constantly around these toxic people, and the way that these glucocorticoids are being affected, and the way it's affecting your HPA axis in your paraventricular nucleus, or PVN for short. PVN for short, paraventricular nucleus. Jesus Christ. Just say PVN. For short, the way it's affecting all of that is by throwing everything out of whack, because your multiple organs are involved. So being around toxic people are affecting your multiple organs and constantly viewing them as a threat to your body. Your body's working overtime, and this is why you get the adrenal fatigue. This is why you feel depressed, because now your pituitary is like, bitch, I'm not functioning because I was trying to help you function. And you have me around these toxic ass people I told you to get away from. And now your balance is thrown off. Now you got vertigo. Now you got memory loss. Some people who have been involved with a bunch of toxic situations experience memory loss because your body is doing its best to help you. But it's taken on too much when you surround it with people, places, and things that are not conducive. I just wrote this to your HPA axis. I've been writing this for years. So protect that at all costs. And if you want to further protect it, Dr. Morse has that brain and nerve. Dr. Furman has Calm Biotech to help with your stress. There's also adrenal support Dr. Morse sells. Just go to my site. Underneath the shop tab, you will see Dr. Morse's herbs and tinctures, Dr. Furman's products, and they're amazing and great for that, as well as my Eat Stress Away program. I talk about all of this stuff. There's a whole medical library in there just for you, so you could do your research and you can have aha moments and you can just feel relaxed and at home, just knowing that someone understands what you've been through and you have someone who's there to help you and coach you through this process. Eating healthy is going to benefit you. I always say smoothies are the holy grail of mental health. They align your body, breaking down that cellular membrane, that cellular wall, getting all those nutrients. You know what, microphone? Getting all those nutrients. If you can't see me, I had my mouth had bumped to the microphone a little bit. Thank God it's foamy. We don't want no foamy smoothies though. Make sure you have a Vitamix or a high-powered blender to where you don't have that foam. Oh, I remember the foam smoothies though before I had the Vitamix. Okay. But yeah, those help align you. So what crystals should you have for trauma when you're dealing with trauma? I highly recommend the obsidian, hematite, smoky quartz to help you. It improves brain function. It improves your mood. It gets rid of anxiety. It gets rid of all of those things. A lot of people look at crystals like they're foo-foo. I'm like, they're more powerful than you, okay? Their frequency. You know, Aaron wore them in Exodus. They also help, protect you from electromagnetic frequencies, which are cancer causing. Radiation isn't good. So if the doctor tells you to have radiation done, it's not good for your cells. And so those crystals are excellent for trauma, as well as rose quartz, because your heart is hurting. It's great for heart. What else? Citrine, that's related to Scorpio. So your reproductive, your roots, sacral and solar plexus chakra, where your confidence needs a boost. Where your home was is your root, so your home and safety as well. What else? Trying to think. I keep seeing tourmaline. That's an excellent one, as well as tourmalinated quartz. And there's an Oreo cookie looking one. Now I want ice cream. Now I want vanilla ice cream with the Oreos in there. Vegan. Oreos are vegan too, by the way. I don't know how often. You shouldn't probably have them often, but I mean, like, vegan non-GMO Oreos or organic, or make yours at home. There's also some in my book, Earthly Desserts. I had a post about Oreo cookies. They're delicious. Oh, they're my programs too. I have an Oreo cookie smoothie in there, I believe. So good. What else? Those are the main ones coming to mind. Carnelian, red jasper, the blue ones for your throat chakra, communication, because you lose your voice when you deal with traumatic experiences. So blue obsidian, amazonite, lapis lazuli, clear quartz, selenite, angel ore quartz, that aligns all the chakras. Just get all the crystals, okay? All right. So let's talk about talking phases, okay? So y'all know I have not been talking to anyone for like 8 months. I haven't really been dating. It's been that long. It's been since September. But I had a brief talking phase, which was it, I want to say in April? Beginning of April? It was very brief. It was so brief. It was the guy who was a comedian. And I'm not going to say his name. Don't you mention me on your live either on TikTok. He's blocked right now, but there's no hard feelings. They're just blocked. But anyway, it was a brief talking phase. I had posted one of his videos in my story, and like a day later, because like I said, I don't get on my text messages, my DMs. He had slid into the DM with like a laughing face, and I was, I had said something back or whatever. And, then he said something, and then I said something, and then it was, we were just talking back and forth. And it went good, but then I noticed that either I don't know what happened. Either I took long to respond or something, or it was like late at night. I responded the next day because it was like late. I have to work, no one's paying for my day off from work. I was like, I'm working. So I had responded. And then he just didn't respond to the last message. So I was just like, okay. I'm not chasing after. So I didn't chase after the person. I wasn't trying to get their attention. I didn't send another message. I waited a few days and I was like, whatever. And then I just ended up blocking him. I don't know if it was either because he was, intimidated because of, what I do for work. How established I am in my own career, and maybe he didn't feel like he was, or it just wasn't his type, although he was very flirty in the messages, but maybe he just didn't want to be, maybe he didn't want to have something serious, so he was just like, I'm not going to waste her time. I don't know what was going through his head. I said her head. His head. I don't care. He is known by a lot of people. He's been on the Shade Room. He's an Aquarius, but he's a comedian. So if you've seen my stories, you probably know who he was before. I posted him a while back, but he's not posted anymore because he's been blocked for months. I think it was April, but anyway, or was it May? I don't remember. It was very, very brief, nothing serious at all. So that was a failed talking stage, but I don't see anything as failure. I just see it as it wasn't meant to be. And Aquarius is, they just ghost and detach anyways. And I have Aquarius placement, so I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. You're just gonna get blocked though. But there's no hard feelings, and I don't name drop because I think that's, it's just like, what is that? People do that. There's no reason to name drop. I mean, I have my own clout. I have my own credibility. I don't need to name drop people. So online and offline, I have credibility. So I'm just like, I don't need to name drop anybody. A lot of people who are so-called popular, they look up to me anyway, you know, certain people. But I don't think anything negative of him. I just think, you know, maybe I just wasn't his. He likes bigger girls, and there's nothing wrong with that. I saw his list before. I was like, oh, he likes like very voluptuous women, and some of them are they're good looking. You know, others of them are not. You know, there's a balance between the two. I mean, obviously you're not going to think everyone is good looking, but always look at people's lists and see, do I look like any of these people? If you don't, then you're not, you know. But I'm at peace, I'm content. You know, if someone wants my time, they can certainly come get it, but keep it, because I will detach. I will detach. And you know, I'm not bashing him or talking about him at all, but what I am saying is, you know, just be on the up and up, have integrity, you know, don't just ghost and detach or what have you. You know, you could say something like, this is just not working out, or say something, or ghost and detach, and then I'll ghost and detach and block, you know. So I'm just very mature. I don't have time for the bullshit with anybody, you know. If you do send a DM, serious inquiries, or be upfront. If you're not serious, be like, I want to have fun, but I am going to invest in you, because my time is money. So if you're just trying to, like I said, I'm not someone who gives myself away. When I'm not seeing anybody, I'm celibate until I meet someone who's worth that. And I can't even count on my hand the amount of people that I've been with sexually. So I'm proud of that. You cannot say, oh, I've had her, I went with her, even, you know, you can't say that about me. You'd be lying. Doctors would know you're lying. A lie detector would know you're lying. People who know me personally would know you're fucking lying. So, you know, it's a privilege. Fucking with me is a privilege. Fucking around and finding out to piss me off, that's not going to end well for you. Again, I'm not talking about him. I'm just talking in general. It's not going to end well for you. And there's karma at play, you know, for people who do that. Some people get scared. They shy away. They don't think they're adequate. They don't think they're good enough. That's you. I'm still going to think I'm confident. You know what I mean? But like I said, if someone jumps into my, just tell me what it is. That's it. Tell me what it is. That's it. Just say what it is up front. It's really simple, you know. Don't beat around the bush, you know. I'll respond to people that I like, or people that I've shown interest in, you know. But if not, you know, I'm probably not. But I'm at a stage in my life, I'm just not with the bullshit. I'm 34. People say that that's past childbearing age, but during childbearing ages, I was fighting for my life, so I missed that, you know. And if God wants me to have a child, I will, and if not, then no hard feelings. I don't care. If I'm meant to be married, then I will. If not, I don't care. If I'm meant to just have a boyfriend, then, and if not, I don't care. You know, I'm at a stage in my life where it's whatever. It's whatever. And what I do with my body is my business. Like I already said, I do not give it freely. If I'm dealing with someone, it's probably going to be with just that person. That's just how I am. You know, although I have Gemini and Scorpio placements, and, you know, internally I may want, you know, to be a certain way, I don't give into that. You know, you know, because men, they like multiple women, and sometimes women like multiple women, but they don't give into it. You know what I mean? I mean, multiple men or women, whatever floats your boat. I don't judge people, but you just don't do it. You know what I mean? So I'm the type of person who just won't do it. I'll just be with one person, and I'm very committed and loyal when I'm with one person. That I only have feelings for that person. I only pay that person attention. I'm submissive with that person. And like I said, as someone who's had the background that I've had, I should have a problem being submissive if I'm with a man. But if he's providing and actually acting like the man, I have no problem being submissive. But if you bring out the masculine in me, you're gonna see, like I said, bruh man from the fifth flow eating sandwiches. You're gonna get that side, or you're gonna get the Rico side, like pull your skirt up, B. Like I already said, or pull your skirt down, whatever he said. You're gonna get that masculine side. You know, if I see that you're not masculine, there's a lot of men online who are like, oh, she didn't have time, she didn't write back to me. Are you paying for her day off work? Then the chick has to work. Like, people think like this though, some people. So I'm just like, hey, if you want someone's time and you see that their time is valuable and you're a man, work something out, dude. Work it out. So that's basically it. People just, if you're just don't let your, even if you're a woman, whether you're a woman or a man, just don't let your insecurities get in the way. If you like somebody, then you just like them, period. Go after what you want. As a woman, I will never. Like, I'm not going to slide in your DMs. I'm not. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to initiate a conversation, you know. I'm not going to initiate it. Nope. I'm not doing that. I did that in person before. You know, in person is different, but like online, I'm not sliding in anybody's DMs. Because in person it's indifferent. It's different. I think the man should slide in the woman's DMs if it's online. As the woman, if you're in person, you're in the same vicinity, obviously you're going to talk to each other. So it's normal, but you don't know them from a hole in the wall. And like I said, men are always talking to somebody. So you don't know who they have. I just don't slide. I don't. I don't, you know. So that is the episode, Ghost Brain. I definitely hope you took a lot away from this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in every single Tuesday. I appreciate all of you all over the world, globally, who tune in. Have an unfiltered day and see you next week. Mwah.